cloud. We have another wonderful Becoming Light case study here. I would love to introduce Christopher to you today. It's honestly been such a delight and pleasure to work with people who are locally, like in Texas. Like I didn't know that that was going to happen. I really didn't actually when I designed this, years ago. But it's been just such a treat because I love watching like the Texas community grow so much. But I'll stop talking. But I want you to introduce yourself, like your name, where you're located, maybe like how long you've been operating behind the chair.
My name is Christopher. I go by Christopher Andrew behind the chair. I've been doing this for about 8 years now. Originally from San Antonio and spent the last 2 years out here in the Austin Bastrop area.
Yeah, it's been 2 years now, or you're in your third year?
2 years in this area.
Very cool. Well, tell me about how it's been to relocate and also what inspired you to relocate to that area.
I'm just a woo-woo person to my core, and something in my core called me out here. I didn't have family or friends or know much about the town, but there was an opportunity, and when I came out to visit and just feel it out, it felt very right. And then after a year building clientele, renting a chair, I had the opportunity to expand a little bit further and open up my own suite so I can do some, a little more mystical stuff. And then I found you, and then it's, been great.
Yeah.
I enjoy incorporating these services and expanding what I can offer.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about your space because I think it's really innovative. So can you talk a little bit about the space that you guys have designed out there?
Yeah, so there's three of us. We're all wellness practitioners. Across the hall from me, we have Isabel. She's with Admiring You Wellness. She's a acupuncturist and cupping therapist, as well as a life coach. And then she practices a quantum hypnosis therapy. She's a wild and crazy, awesome person to talk to. And then next door to me, we have True Massage and Wellness, and that's Sarah Wally. She practices integrative massage and massage therapy and Reiki healing. And then you have me, and I've wanted to integrate energy work into hairdressing. I have my 200 hours of basic yoga teacher training, and the biggest thing I took away when I took that course was just really understanding the energy centers and how everything's aligned. And it just really came clear to me that, wow, no wonder I do hair. No wonder I love it. No wonder clients love it. Like we're straight up working on your little crown chakra here, and there's, love, or there's heart zones in your hand and all that. You're just spreading love the whole time. So it's cool to take it up a little bit to the next level and, offer a little bit more of a structured approach.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. I love I love how the industry is changing so much. Like it's evolving so much where it's becoming more of a wellness collective. There's more like a spa environment. There's really a return to a very like client-centered, but like whole, like body, like whole being approach, which is just so exciting for me. Gone are the days of just coming in, get a 15-minute haircut and peace out. Like I know that those salons still exist and they have their place, but it's very exciting for me just as an entrepreneur to watch like the emerging like field and like the ways that things are just morphing into something totally new than like I've ever seen in our industry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us about what intuitively motivated you to, be interested in becoming light? Why did you enroll? I'd love to hear that.
It was just time for, like most of us do in the industry, we, commit ourselves to quarterly education or something like that. And your program came up right at the right timing with moving into my space and being ready to just get started with something else. So I was excited to commit for, I think I did 5 months with you, and it's been fun coaching
Yeah.
and learning. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear about your process. Like, what about your time here? Because you're still actively enrolled, but what have you really enjoyed or what worked really great for you?
Um, let's see what's worked really great. The vibrational marketing, yeah, that's been the best thing. Just talking about or talking to a more targeted audience, just and yet again integrating in, you know, you need a little bit more time to slow down. You do need a little bit more structure to what you're receiving. or intention behind it. You know, we all deserve that care, and it's been cool to implement it behind the chair. I have a lot of clients that really enjoy it and have been, you know, I've been also doing video testimonials. I'm excited to start posting those because I think it is very worthwhile to hear somebody's word of mouth of their experience, even though it's something you can't really put, um, you know, words to sometimes. Some of the
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's tough to have like a third party watching sometimes when you're talking about healing because healing feels like this like kind of big like nebulous thing, and so it's really one of those things where you have to experience it because I mean, I don't know about you, but every single time that I've had healing work, it's been different each time. So it's tough to say this is exactly what my experience is going to be, which is also going to be what your experience is. But I think it's still really fun to get those video testimonials to show that there's like real people behind it. So I'm glad that the vibrational marketing has worked for you. How have your customers and your clients like been receiving everything in this new business?
Everybody's enjoyed it. I don't have anybody that said no to receiving it. Everybody's been open to it. There have been a couple of people that I definitely explained beforehand, like they've never received it before. You may not, you know, it may be a subtle feeling, maybe a gradual feeling, all of those things. And I think some people are a little demystified sometimes, but for the most part, everybody's received it very well.
That's great. Yeah. Well, what else did you like? I mean, I know that you came to a lot of the community calls and the implementation clinics. Like, how did those work out for you? I know that you were recently interacting. I think it was, oh, that's right. You were in a breakout session with Indy in Australia. And he had said that you helped him a lot, like break through like some limiting patterns.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. And we had just talked about, well, yeah, connecting with everybody's been great. And just sharing back and forth, you know, what's worked, what's not worked, or what, I don't know, calls us to it and what makes us feel empowered to keep talking about it and keep pushing forward. Because it's definitely not something that happens overnight. I think we do have to warm people up to the idea and just educate them on what's really going on. Because regardless of what you believe, this is all real stuff that happens to us, you know. Uh,
Sure.
it's all electromagnetic frequency and
Mm.
vibes, and however you want to say it. But I think it's a lot of educating just people with it. But I think you had asked about the community calls. They've been great. I think it's been really nice just to see community and hear the people's problems that they've had and just take away from that, and then also offer up what I've experienced when I had a question.
Yeah, that's great. Why did you want to become a healer?
I think I've always kind of had that in my life path, and yet again, I think having found my way into hairdressing and yoga teaching and just learning more about energy and esoteric stuff, there's just been a lot of things that point towards this really all comes into one line, you know. And the sooner you bring it into one line, the quicker you'll see some things excel in your life. So
Mm.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So how does it feel now stepping into that space in a new level?
It feels great. It's felt very empowering. I definitely see the next couple things lining up that I want to pursue and go through. We're really just expanding my work a little bit, taking a little less time with client in terms of transformation stuff, and maybe taking a little more time to do healing work while bringing on some other stylists so that we can also continue to expand the wellness community out here in Bastrop. We are a pretty small town, but I think there are a lot of people that seek out these services.
Yeah, there certainly are in that town. So I'm really excited for even more growth. Well, I like to think about this as big picture because I think that this is not only applicable to somebody's business, but also to their life as a whole. So, how has this impacted life as a whole?
Just getting back in touch and being more aware. I think after this whole move out here and then expanding and creating a studio, I never thought I'd really do either of those two things in the timeline I did, but
Yeah.
it was, and that's how life goes. And yet again, I think this came into alignment at the right time just to really sit with it and just integrate yet again some of the practices I had lost for myself in the
Mm,
transition period. You know, just
sure.
getting too in touch with reality. You know, there's got to be a fair amount of balance, but getting too in touch with the physical and too in touch with the numbers. And sometimes you just gotta just let the numbers float, you know?
Yeah. Well, What would you say to somebody who is watching this video or watching a snippet of this video and maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe they're at the beginning or maybe they have a background like you do but want to take it to the next level. Like, are there pieces of advice or wisdom that you would share?
Um, just pretty much it's worth it. I mean, just dive in, give yourself some grace if you're not finishing the modules on peak and point time. It's not going to make or break you, but it's definitely got a lot of useful information in there.
Mhm.
I can say it was worth my investment and take it away from it, an amazing amount. Yet again, I feel like my content's gone, or just my content copywriting has gone from here to like here over a couple of weeks, couple months after I got to that module. It's really easy.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I think a lot of people have, and this is something that I just noticed just over the years of working with others and just but in the healing collective is that I think sales and marketing is something that for whatever reason there's like a maybe like limiting beliefs or this idea that like I'm not good at it or I can't do it. And it really is a spiritual journey sometimes for healers to let themselves be seen and do it consistently. So that's really rewarding to hear because it's not, obviously the thing that everybody shares. Like not everybody comes into their testimony and be like, I love the vibrational marketing. Like sometimes we're like, I hate the vibrational marketing. So it's actually great to hear somebody say like, yeah, I really love this, because you've done the work in your life to be willing to be seen for who you are and what you do, which is great because you're only going to keep calling in more of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, for other people to connect with you, can you share how people would want to get in touch with you? Like, how can they find out more about you and your services?
Instagram's always the easiest. I'm just Christopher Andrew Hair on Instagram. That's my handle. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And then my website is christopherandrewhair.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Thank you.